We're live. Hey everybody, it's Caleb Graham and my new co-host. This is the lovely Katie Alexis.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have somebody to talk to, or talk with anyway, because I usually do this by myself. So, but it's our first live show. If you're watching live, welcome. It says we have 0 viewers right now, so that's okay.
That's the goal, I think.
Yeah, that's
no
the goal.
viewers.
No viewers. But the fun thing about this, we're doing this with the Google Hangouts. So once we're finished with the live broadcast, it uploads directly to YouTube. So if you want to watch it later, you can do that. But before that, we want you guys to follow us on Twitter and everything else. We're on Twitter at MixItUpTV. I'm on Twitter at Caleb Graham, and Katie's on Twitter at
KitKatLexi.
KitKatLexi.
Yeah.
And obviously here, this is the channel where you can always see the live shows and watch the videos later. It's youtube.com/mixituptube. Make sure you put it in right, mixituptube, because a lot of times I forget and almost put TV. We have a blog website set up, but it's not really going yet. But if you want to go look at it, it's mixituptv.wordpress.com, and we'll start posting stuff over there eventually. We're going to do live tweeting during the show. So if you, whenever we're talking about anything, if you want to be involved or have an opinion, tweet us, and I have my phone. We'll be looking at it periodically throughout the podcast and shouting out to you or talking about your opinion or whatever you have to say. Whatever you say in your tweet, we'll read it if it's appropriate. So tweet us. The Twitter, like I said, is at MixItUpTV. And when you tweet us, put the hashtag MixItUp. So that way it's easier to find the tweets that you send that way. If you just at us at the same time, it brings up a lot of feed and everything. So the hashtag MixItUp is the best way to do it, I think. But if you want to do it both ways, that's fine too. So now everybody's probably wondering what this is. This is, like I said, Mix It Up. It is a recreation of a video blog that I used to do when I was in college. And still going to do those, like little silly videos like I started last fall once I have time to do them. That's going to be the one thing that's hard for us is coordinating our schedules.
Yeah.
we work different schedules all the time. So, but we were lucky to be able to do this today, which can I just point out, she thinks this is early.
It's really early. Oh, it's early.
It's the middle of the day. It's noon. She comes over and she's like, it's so early.
Because I worked a PM shift last night, okay?
Yeah.
Like, don't
So
judge me. That's true. You worked later than I did.
I did work later.
That's
Anyway, so that's what this is going to be. This is kind of the live podcast version. Both of us had talked about that we had been wanting to do podcasts recently, and I thought this would be a perfect way to do it because it's easy to do it over the Google Hangouts, and it's fun, and it gives us that live feel. People can watch if they want or not watch, as we see. But basically, this is before the little videos I posted before were more like just like home videos, and there's like a lot in that sentence.
okay.
Home videos or catching my friends doing silly stuff or just making funny videos, doing anything, whatever we thought was funny. This will kind of be like that later on in the show, but we wanted it to be more like an actual podcast where we talk about legit things and stuff that people are interested in and things like that. So we're going to have a little bit of a show flow that we follow. Every day we'll talk about something that we are either both interested in or something that's big in the news. So that's going to be like our hot topics. That's my throw to the view. Our hot topics part of the show, and that'll be first. So if there's anything really big that happened this morning or in the news or whatever the day that we do the show, we'll talk about that, especially if it's something that either one of us are passionate about. Then we'll obviously do the live tweeting, so tweet us. We'll read your tweets and stuff during the show. We're going to do entertainment chat where we talk about something, because I'm obsessed with celebrities. And we like stuff. I mean, you have music that you like to listen to.
Yeah, of course.
and we go to movies. Today we're actually going to be talking about 2 movies that we both haven't seen both movies, but we each have seen one of the movies that we're talking about. And then talk about the third part of it is going to be the life moments, and this was actually Katie's idea, so I'll let you have this.
Well, I like watching a lot of YouTubers, and they like to talk about like things that go on in their life, like little funny like things that we can all kind of relate to. And I definitely want to talk about I don't know, just like really funny, weird, quirky life moments where you're just like, why, like why did that happen?
Why did that
happen? So.
Or you're not gonna believe what happened to me today. Like
exactly.
One of those kind of things. So that I'm actually really excited about because that'll kind of be the more candid part of the show. Because we're not scripted by any means, but I mean we do want to be as legit as possible, so we came up with a little bit of an outline for it. But it's going to be a lot of winging it too, and having fun and stuff. We decided that we're not going to really, how can I say this? We'll plan the shows, but we're not going to talk with each other a whole lot about the subjects before the show because we want it to be as candid as possible and sharing our opinions. So. And obviously we want you to share your opinions too. That's what kind of is our goal with this, and why we would want you to watch it is so that it'll give you a chance to talk back too. We want to have, because this is Google Hangouts, we can have I think up to 8 people.
That's awesome.
Total that can, I guess, call in is the right term. I don't know. Join the circle. Use the Google terms. The circle. And you can talk live with us through, if you have internet and video, Google Hangouts, everything. Or, like I said, you can tweet us, or you can leave comments on the video, everything. We want this to very much be viewer-oriented. So we want to be able to talk with you guys. And obviously, I like talking. You like talking.
I do. Letting you have your moment.
Yeah. And I wanted to have somebody to talk with me. So, yay, she's here. And she will talk more later. I'm just really excited, so I'm just making sure everything is set up the right way. Anyway, let's get out of that because we've already gone for a few minutes and I've just been talking about random stuff. So that's the setup for the show. Watch us. You'll learn more about it as we go. Hot topics. So it's been about 2 months, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Since the Malaysia airline flight 370 went missing. And I heard about this on TV the other day, and I knew that we had to talk about it. So it's a few days old, but it was just really interesting to me that this happened. CNN apparently conducted a poll, and they said that it was a scientific poll to see what their viewers or fans of CNN thought about what could have possibly happened to the plane if it was like taken over or abducted or whatever terminology you want to be, hijacked. And on their poll, they had 4 different things that you could choose from, and you were to pick which one you thought was the most likely to happen. So the first one was terrorists or people associated with a hostile foreign government. That was the first one. The second one was hijackers not associated with terrorists. The third one was the pilot, the co-pilot, or other members of the plane's crew. And the last one was the best one. This was what kind of just made me go a little crazy, like, for real, seeing it. Space aliens, time travelers, or beings from another dimension.
That sounds about right. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, along with 10% of the population, or at least 10% of the viewers of that, or the people that saw that poll or that watched CNN, think that the plane was abducted by aliens. Now, this is not the first time, apparently, that either a person, a celebrity, or anybody well-known or anything like this has happened where people have not thought that maybe aliens took them.
I love that.
You know, because people for years have said that they see UFOs and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's other people throughout history that have gone missing or just completely disappeared off the face of the earth and nobody knew what happened to them. And before, people have said they think aliens took them over. I mean, do you believe in aliens?
I definitely believe that we're not alone, because I feel like the universe is so vast, like how could we just be the only living beings in the universe? Mm-hmm. However, I don't know, like the fact, I mean, I don't want to knock it and say no, aliens can take them. Does that sound weird?
Yeah.
But it's a possibility, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've never been one to really believe in aliens. I mean, I agree. I feel like there could be other things out in the universe that we don't know about. I mean, it kind of is, that kind of almost dips into a beliefs thing. I'm actually going to get a little bit into that later on in the show in our entertainment topics. But there's so many people that believe that they've seen things or don't believe they've seen. I don't know. I just feel like, if, in my personal opinion, if we were supposed to know about it, we would know about it.
That's true.
I feel, the powers that be, whatever you believe in, I believe that God controls everything. But, whatever you believe, I don't know. We'll see. The time traveling thing, though, and that I don't really.
You don't believe it? The time traveling?
No. I mean, unless I walk outside and fall into a wormhole and go back to. Honestly, though, if I was ever to go back in time, it's going to get off topic a little bit, but I would want to go back probably to the 20s.
The 20s.
Like the beginning of the 20s, when it was like the roaring 20s, when all these rich people were like, it seemed a very glamorous time.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Great Gatsby, that time period. Like, that would be one of the times. And the Titanic. I would want to be on the Titanic. But I would want to
get off the Titanic.
I would want to time travel to the Titanic, be there when the iceberg hit, and then leave.
That's nice of you.
Right.
Are you gonna take anybody with you, or just kind of let
them? I mean, the only reason that would be fun to take somebody, but the reason I probably wouldn't take anybody is because I'd be worried that they get left behind and didn't make it back with me. You know what I mean? You know, like
I'll take you with me. Just joking.
No.
Sorry.
I wouldn't purposefully leave them, but like I would be afraid that something could happen, that they wouldn't be able to make it back with me, and then they'd be gone. You know what I mean? And that's what I wouldn't want. So.
Gotcha. You mean like you would take someone to the Titanic with you?
Yeah.
I meant like, would you rescue someone?
Yeah, absolutely. If I could, yeah, that would be neat. But then you'd have to worry about their issues, their PTSD when they came to a new time period,
Yeah.
Because I think most of the people that survived have all passed away now.
Yes.
I think the last one was this past year or so. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know. It is hard. I understand. I feel for the families of the people that were on that plane because they still don't know anything, and they've been searching for 2 months or longer now, and still don't find anything. They keep thinking they get close, and then it's nothing. So.
And they found out via text message that they found the plane, or that they hadn't. Yeah, I feel like I read that the government had over in China had texted the victims of the plane we didn't find anything or something.
Since that happened.
Yeah.
They've texted people that were on the plane
No, the Chinese government.
Their
people
families
that were on the plane. Yeah. Text the families and were
Yeah, they have they determined that they feel like the plane crashed in the ocean, and because a lot of the families that were staying in the area in Malaysia, and the government was putting them up in hotels and stuff to keep them updated, and then they finally said, you guys need to go home, if anything happens, we'll let you know. And they've texted them and contacted and emailed them and stuff. So
a phone call I feel like would be nice.
Yeah, a phone call would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit more thoughtful.
Sorry about that, go home, okay, thanks.
Well, we'll see. If it shows up, then we'll know aliens didn't take it. It's just hard to say. I just feel like it's very out there for a legit news channel and stuff to be considering. I don't know.
Maybe I feel like they either posted that because they genuinely believe it's aliens, and they're like, how many people are on board with us? Or they're just like, let's make fun of everyone.
Yeah, or let's just see what people might say. Let's see if anybody thinks that, I feel like there's it could have been a comical reason, or maybe just to make people watch it. Who knows? If it was for comical reasons, then shame on you, CNN, because there's people that lost their loved ones.
That's true.
Okay, moving on. This is something that Katie wanted to talk about, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign.
Yeah.
As everybody knows, back on the April 14th, the Islamist militant group, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, but I don't know how to say it, Boko Haram, I think is how you say it, kidnapped 276 Nigerian girls. Apparently, since that happened, they found and took 8 more girls, and are threatening to sell them. So we know that human trafficking is a major issue in our world today. And you had some things that you wanted to say about that, so I'll let you go ahead.
So I just thought it was interesting because as I've been reading about it, people have been getting upset because this group has actually killed about 2,000 people just this year, and nobody's
group, right? Yeah.
And nobody's really said anything about it. But then they take these girls, and all of a sudden everyone's upset and sort of uproar. And of course, it's terrible. It's a really bad, tragic thing. But I just wondered, like, why did this have to happen in order for us to step in and go, hey, this is not okay, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's the fact that they were girls in school, and when we send off our kids to school, we think that they're going to be safe. But the idea that someone could just come in and go into a sorority, basically, and, take them.
Yeah. No, were they,
scary.
I don't remember, are they young girls or are they, like, college-age girls?
That's a really good question.
I'm not sure.
They looked like
if you
they were
know,
like.
let us know.
Yeah. They looked like they were teenage, college-ish.
Yeah. I knew they were young, but
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure how young. Yeah, I think that, and this can branch off into another topic that's about, women and being kidnapped and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think because it was so many girls, which 2,000 people is a lot, and it could be that maybe those other situations have gotten attention, but just not as much attention as this. And I think probably maybe part of it is because, like I said, it was so many girls, and it was people's daughters. And the thing is, when anybody is kidnapped, that's somebody's family. Like, somebody loves those people. So it should be more widely known. But I think because part of it, too, is because of, like I said, human sex trafficking is such a huge thing right now, and people are talking about it all the time, and you hear about it all the time, people getting kidnapped. But I was thinking, it's like you said, it shouldn't be covered just because girls. It's almost like, in the situation where, like, you talk about girls sleeping around and boys sleeping around. Girls are given more criticism for it than boys. Why? Because it's either way, it's you're looking for sex. Like, that's how it's always been, though. Boys have never gotten the same flack for it as girls have. So I don't know if maybe that's part of it. I think still to this day, the culture of the world thinks that girls are so much more weaker than men, and so maybe that's part of it too. There's a lot of reasons why it could be focused more on them, but I feel like that whatever, all the people that they've killed or kidnapped or whatever, all those things should be given the same treatment.
I agree.
And because people are people, everybody has a story, all people are people, they are loved by someone, and those people are hurting and want their family members back, regardless if it's girls or guys. But I think for this, because they actually went into a school and it was all girls and so many in such a large number, that it kind of just hit closer to home for a lot more people, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like anyway.
Yeah. Because the idea that you'd send your daughter off to school to, like, never see her again because she's been kidnapped is scary. And then also the fact that the government hasn't really, because come to find out, the government actually knew that they were coming in to basically raid the town, and they didn't do anything about it. And
yeah, that's
because they said they couldn't get enough officials, but at least send someone.
Yeah, send somebody. Try to find people, like, I don't know if this is a thing, or if you could be like, find people that might be willing to help. Like, obviously that goes into a whole other thing of, like, they need to be trained in doing things. Like, you just have, like, a public
that might even deter a little
crusade, but I wish that they could have done something more. It's kind of like when we hear about things that happen here in the U.S. that it ends up coming out later that the government knew a little bit about it and then didn't do anything. People just get mad. I feel like there should be more action taken. You want to think things out and not just go at it blind, but I don't know. I don't know how powerful this group is. I mean,
they seem very powerful.
They seem like they're very powerful. So maybe they just were afraid that they didn't have the right resources to try to overthrow or take them. You know what I mean? They would need to band together with other governments, but that's a whole other
Well, that's what they're doing now. They're doing a whole world, like our government stepping in and the European government wants to step in. And what do you think? Do you think that we should step in and try to help?
I mean, I feel like the U.S., because it's still such a large power in the world, and if we have the resources, that we should use them and help other countries. I think that that's what the U.S. has always stood for, is trying to help other people. I mean, obviously we have our own issues that we need to work out too, but I feel like any country, when it comes to the well-being of the human population and people's families and stuff like that, if we are able to help, we should.
Yeah.
Is what I think, Do you think so?
I think we should definitely step in and help, but I think after this has been resolved, I think we need to start focusing on things more at home, because we seem to be more focused on other countries and ignoring the fact that this is actually going on here as well.
Yeah, it goes on here too.
Yeah, like any major city, there's going to be human sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that. I don't know if you've seen that video. I forget when it was, but it was not too long ago. It was like at a sports game or something, or a race or somewhere. They had this, they put together this video, and there was a truck, like an 18-wheeler, that the trailer of it was glass. And they had all of these women sitting in there that had been like beaten up and like kidnapped and raped and stuff, and had been collected to be trafficked, and they had it, and it drove through the city like during this big event. I forget what it was, but whatever this event was, it drove through the city, and they were not actually had been kidnapped, but they were hired as actresses, but it was to raise awareness of that issue, because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all over the world, so it needs to be stopped for sure. Tell us your thoughts about that, and let's see what you think, and if you think we're crazy, tell us. I was going to say at the beginning of this, and we'll interject this now as we move on, not to judge us too harshly, because we are new at this, and we definitely will get better, hopefully. We really want to try to do our research and use real facts and things that are true, and not just off the whim. If I don't know something, I'm not going to pretend like I know it. Yeah. I know you won't either.
Yeah.
But if we do say something that isn't right, or that you can disprove, or if there's a different fact, please let us know so that we can, retract it later. I don't know if this is a lighter subject, but it's...
Oh, it's definitely lighter.
It's definitely a lighter subject, but as a lot of people, my friends and people who have watched my videos and stuff before, I'm a huge fan of the talk show The View.
He was watching it when I came in this morning.
Yeah. Well, because this is Barbara Walters' last week on the show. She's retiring, and she won't be on there as co-host anymore. And I've watched the show a lot. People always make fun of me for it, but I don't care. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week, and I'm really excited to watch it. You'll have to watch some of it with me, because it's her last week. All of the co-hosts that have been on the show before are going to be back on, which I'm so excited to see Rosie and Elizabeth together. And they're going to all be sitting at the table together. They said that this morning. All the co-hosts will be co-hosting the show together at the table on Thursday. So I'm so excited to watch it. Really excited to watch it. I didn't get to see the whole show today because we were getting ready for this, but I'm going to watch it later and talk about it maybe.
Do you TiVo it? Like, do you record it?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I DVR it every day. It's on my DVR every day. And the bad thing is, because it's on every day, I will forget to watch some episodes. So most of the time, if I don't see it, I'll delete it, unless there was like a special guest or something on there that I wanted to see. But I have about, I think 30 episodes on my DVR right now. That's 30 hours.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Of ones that had like somebody they interviewed or a performance or something I wanted to watch that I never have time to go back and watch. Eventually I will.
Well, you're off on Thursday, so just have a marathon.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
Like,
I'll watch them.
30
usually
hours.
I can watch them at night when I get home from work, but I'm tired. But I will watch them this week because it's Bab's last week. And one of the things related to The View that I just wanted to talk about real quick, because I'm curious to see what happens, is Sherry Shepherd is one of the co-hosts. Her husband filed for divorce this weekend, or separation was what it said. Most of the articles said he filed for separation. Apparently they've been having issues for a while, and She hasn't talked about it on the show, which I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't either because it's very personal. But she
especially if he's filing and she's not.
Because when she first got on the show, she was in the middle of a thing with her ex-husband, and she talked a lot about it then and about her son and everything. But she hasn't said anything yet about this. And
is it the same guy or a different guy?
It's a different guy. It's Lamar. I think it's Lamar Sally's name. She calls him Sal, so I only know him by Sal. But what's interesting is they right now are pregnant via a surrogate. And in the thing that he filed, he wants to get full custody of that baby when it's born. So it's like there's like this like thing that it's like a big thing, you know? And I mean, obviously, I don't blame her for not talking about it on the show because it's very personal, and until everything is settled, I feel like it's better for her not to talk about it, but I kind of want them to talk about it.
Because you know what's
just
going
to
on.
hear, because I mean, I like the show and stuff, and I'm a fan of Sherry, so I'm just curious and just hope that she's okay. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be interesting. That whole thing with the surrogate baby definitely throws something different into the mix. You know, it's definitely going to make it a little bit more brutal and complicated.
Yeah, very complicated.
And she already has a son, and I think he's 8 or 9 years old, and so I feel bad for him too because this will be the second father figure that he will have lost due to this. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, just really fast, so cute. This morning on Today's Show, they showed this picture of these babies, and I'm gonna find it and tweet it later. So if you haven't seen it, you can go on our Twitter and see it. I don't know all the details. I just saw the picture and it was really cute. These two babies that were twins were born, and right after the doctor delivered them, they were holding them, and the babies like grabbed hands. Like in the picture, they have like their hands are like this, and it's so cute. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Look it up because it was really, really cute. Okay, so this would move us normally into our tweets. I don't think we have gotten any because we still have 0 viewers. But shame on our friends who we saw that. Oh wait. No. No, that's not anything about us.
It's about
somebody retweeted
the view.
but it was something about the view that I had tweeted earlier.
That's cool.
Well, since we don't have any, we will at least do a couple of shout-outs to our 3 followers that we got since I did the Glee podcast, which one of them I found out actually you knew. But we got Rachel Muscus, who I did the Glee podcast with the other day. This is her shout-out for this episode. She hopefully will be doing the next Glee podcast with me tomorrow night after the show because it's the season finale. But that was her, Rachel Muscus. Love her. And then we got followed by Tiffany Carter at Dr. Pepper Girls.
She's a friend of mine from Dallas. Yeah.
And then Clarissa followed us at LostGirl_Carl. So thank you, girls, for following us.
We really appreciate it.
Tell your friends and get other people to follow us and watch the show because we really want to gain a little bit of a following and have everybody involved, just for fun, you know.
Oh, we got a viewer.
Oh, hi, whoever that viewer is. Welcome to the show.
No pressure.
Yeah. Tweet us at MixItUpTV, #MixItUp, and we'll just talk about you on TV, on YouTube, on the show. Anyway, move on. We digress. So we want to always talk about something related to entertainment because that's a big part of our lives, and especially where we live in Orlando because there's attractions everywhere. So I went to. Well, actually, why don't we talk about yours first?
Okay. So I saw the movie Noah, and I had him watch the trailer.
Because I haven't gotten to see it yet. I want to see it. I'm going to see it, but I haven't.
Did it look like it was based on the biblical?
It had the main points, I think. The thing with biblical. Oh, we just got a tweet. This is at Davey Akins tweeted us. I guess I can see what at MixedUpTV live stream is all about. #turnup. So if that's you, thanks, Davey. That's a friend of ours from work.
Yes, he is.
He
He asked me if I was Caucasian the other day. He's like, "Are you white? Because if you are, you're really tan." I was like, "Yeah, baby,
Yeah.
I'm white." Mm-hmm.
So, why don't you just tell everybody what you actually are, so they do know.
I'm mixed. I'm half white, half black, and a part Cherokee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. And everybody tell her that you like her hair, because she just got her hair colored the other day, and it's really nice.
It's really...
It's darker. She used to be blonde.
I used to be blonde, and I miss being blonde.
It's hard to see on this, but it's kind of like a burgundy color now.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty.
Thanks.
You can see it in the picture we posted yesterday.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
But anyway, going back to Noah. The story, which Davey can give us some information on this too, because he knows a lot about this story from the Bible. But the thing with biblical films is a lot of times with the accounts of the things that happened in the Bible, we don't get a lot of detail.
Mm-hmm.
The men who wrote scripture basically kind of just give us the facts of what happened in most cases. And then, so as a filmmaker, obviously you want people to watch the movie. You want people to see it. So there's a lot of things left that end up being left open to interpretation, I think.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of gets into, that's why religious films are so controversial, is because so many people believe so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have to do your best, I feel like, to be accurate to what the scripture says, as well as historically accurate to the time period.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Noah is...
They did the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, well, what do you mean, Mike?
Well, because when you watch the trailer, that's why I think watching the trailer is so important, because if you watch it, it literally looks like, okay, this is the Bible story. Like, this is what I learned growing up in primary school. And then you go, and it's kind of like, ha, gotcha, not, it's not at all.
Yeah.
Because...
Which we'll just say spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
now,
alert.
If you haven't seen
if you haven't seen it, sorry.
It's okay if you say it, even though I haven't seen it, because I'll still see it.
Basically, they have these fallen angels that have fallen from heaven. They turned into like these giant rock gods. That kind of reminded me of like the nymphs from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to like help Noah and his family build the ark. And then Noah gets it into his head that like God doesn't want anyone to survive. He doesn't want humans to survive. So one of the girls,
he kind of like fights with himself a little bit.
Yeah, about it. And he his sons want wives, and he goes out into like the camp that's been built outside of the ark by all the wicked people to find them wives, and he ends up just kind of getting into his head that they're all wicked, so they don't deserve to be saved, even though there are children in the camp that are innocent. And then one of his sons actually rescues one of the girls, and Noah leaves her to die. And it's pretty brutal and disgusting, and you're like, okay, thanks. And then one of the girls that they actually rescued when she was like a baby, like a long time ago, so she's grown up with them, she's barren. And so this is why he's like, you know what, God doesn't want us to reproduce, and it's fine because she's barren, so she can't have children. So the sons, of course, are really upset about it, and one of the sons ends up trying to plot a murder, like to murder Noah with the king that you saw in the trailer.
Wait, one of Noah's sons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? And anyway, so the girl, she's played, Emma Watson plays her. I don't remember her name, and I feel really bad about it.
I saw it earlier, but I don't remember either.
Anyway, so she ends up getting healed, and so now she can have children, and Noah doesn't know about it until she becomes pregnant. And he says, well, if you have a daughter, I'm going to kill them. Like, I'm going to kill your children. And that's horrifying, because that's your child, like, to be pregnant and be told that you're going to be, your children are going to be murdered is awful. And so, anyways, they basically, just the movie, I don't know, the movie's crazy. Like, it's just, it's not, and then you find out later, when I was reading an article, they're like, yeah, this isn't based on, like, they basically took the story of Noah, and then we're like, oh.
And redid it.
And we're not going to do it based on biblical facts at all.
Well, and see, that's the thing, like I said, with a lot of those biblical movies, is that happens a lot. This is not the first time that they have twisted facts from the Bible in this story, actually. There was a miniseries a lot of years ago where they portrayed Noah and his family as citizens of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they left Sodom and Gomorrah, and Noah wasn't from Solomon, wasn't from there. Like, they just mixed two stories together to make it just for dramatic effect.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what happens with these with films that depict stories from the Bible, is because, like I said, there's not that much detail. They have to get creative and come up with things. That some of those things, though, I feel like is much. Like, a lot of that stuff is too much, because Noah was not like that. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely painted him as the villain.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of were like rooting for them to kill him.
Yeah.
Because then it comes out that she ends up having girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh.
That's interesting. Well, now I definitely have to see it so I can have a little bit more of an opinion about it. One of the things, too, that was interesting that I heard about the other day related to that film is a lot of people were upset, which, first of all, China is not allowing the film to be shown there because of, they have a lot of times they do that because of their religious content. They don't allow certain films to be released there, so their censor said no, and which is interesting because the company that did know, I think it was Paramount, distributes a lot of their films through Chinese companies, and so they said no. Another thing that I read about, or that I either read or heard on something about, was a lot of people were upset about the casting. It's all white dudes was the term that they used. The whole cast is white guys and white women, whatever. And the filmmakers and casting were asked about that, and they said that they didn't want people to be distracted by a large group of different races, like by having so many different races in the film. And sometimes I get frustrated. I'm going to make sure that I say this the right way. For stories, you want things to be historically accurate. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there are movies and things that are done that I feel like they try too hard to have it racially diverse, and it kind of makes it a little less relevant. If it's something new and a new story, or something that's not, I don't know. I feel like it's fair and it's right that people like to have things racially diverse. That's very important. But with this, I understand why they made that choice, because the thing about it is that time, we don't know where it happened. We have ideas of where people think that flood was the Mesopotamian flood, and so that they may have lived in that region. Some people think they may have lived in Baghdad. Some people think they may have lived in Egypt. Some people think they lived in Iraq. Like, there was that whole region. We don't know where it happened. Mm-hmm. All we know is that the whole earth flooded and everything was destroyed. So we don't know really what race they were. So I feel like you kind of just have to decide as a filmmaker, like, which route do I want to go to be able to try to tell the story as historically accurate as possible, which they actually didn't do based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, that was just something that was really big. Like, a lot of people were mad that everybody was white. But
sometimes I can understand, like, when you're reenacting historical things, because you don't want to put them as a particular race, and then everyone's like, wait, they're not that race. So it's easier to put them as white because it's like a blank slate, kind of like, interpret it.
Take it how you want.
Yeah. But then sometimes it does get really frustrating because, like, the other day, I don't want to mention what company it was, they posted for Mother's Day, and all of the posts that they were posting about, maybe you saw on Facebook, all the pictures they posted were of white families. You know, Happy Mother's Day, you know, and it was just kind of like, you know, there are other races out there. There are other races that have mom, you know what I mean? Like,
everybody has mothers, Yeah,
like, why would you just post Caucasian families? Mm-hmm. That's really frustrating.
Yeah, that's rude.
Yeah, it is rude. And the funny thing is, like, nobody was posting, oh, thanks, you know, company. They were like, okay, why are there only white couples or white families on here? Like, there are other, that's silly.
Let's have everybody pretty and neat. Like, other people from other races are pretty too, you know? So, whatever.
Oh,
well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Shame on you, whoever you are.
I'll tell you later.
Tell me later. Tell me after the show. So, well, that's it for our entertainment. Oh, we have to move on. There's another part of that.
There is.
Spider-Man. I went to see Spider-Man 2. I've always been a pretty big fan? I've been a span. That's a new word. A Spider-Man fan. Span.
Yes. Good job.
That's good. That has to happen. Make that
No.
happen. Make that happen, everybody.
Stop trying to make that happen. It's not gonna happen.
I'm trying to make that happen.
Stop.
That'll be a little throw to Tehani there because she loves Mean Girls. As everybody agrees, and most people generally agree. Did you see the last Spider-Man trilogy, the Tobey Maguire ones?
Yes.
A lot of people agree, and I agree too, that the last movie was. It was terrible.
He was so whiny.
He was whiny. First he was like all Spider-Man, and then he was all man, emo, and like it was just weird. There was too much going on. There was like 100 villains. There was just a lot going on.
And I never liked Mary Jane either.
Yeah.
Like they never made her likable. I was always just like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the first movie was really good, and then the second one was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, so they decided to redo it. Make a new Spider-Man trilogy with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, which
He's really
fabulous.
Cute. And she's really pretty.
Yeah, they're a very attractive couple, and they work really well together. They actually are dating in real life. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
And so
see how long that lasts.
That definitely makes.
It's not gonna last.
Let's take that.
They're not gonna get married.
Anyway, the second movie they had a little bit of. Did you see the first one?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you need to see the first one.
I know.
Anyway, they have really good chemistry on screen, but. The first movie was really good. I actually just saw it for the first time recently, and it was like I said, it was really good. It was a lot better to me than the first round.
The first go at trying to make Spider-Man.
Yeah, the first go. The second one, I was really excited about because, like I said, I had just seen the first one, and I read a lot of reviews about it before I went to see it, and a lot of the reviews said that it was starting to go the way of Spider-Man 3. Because, I'll make sure that we say them correctly. The new trilogy is The Amazing Spider-Man, where the old ones were just Spider-Man. This trilogy has a little bit more authenticity to the comics. Because a lot of, times they portray Spider-Man as he actually makes the web himself. It comes out of his own body. In this film, he has the thing that he makes in the comic books that's made. It's like a cable, and he has to attach it to his wrist, and that's how he does it. Yeah,
that's cool.
So it's a little bit more authentic to the original comics. The first movie was fabulous. Really loved it. This one was really good. I actually liked it better than what the reviews said.
That's good.
There was a lot. The reviews said that the reason it felt like it was starting to go more towards Spider-Man 3 from the first group was because there was too much going on. And I agree with that a little bit because there were some things that they showed in the second movie that could have been in the first one. Like they flashed back to Peter's dad and his role with Oscorp and all that kind of stuff, which could have been in the first one, but it made a little bit more sense to wait because of things that happened in the second one. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen it because it is very new and it's very popular. So
we don't want some fannies being like, "Why did you tell?"
Yeah. But
if you watch Once Upon a Time, they basically ruined everything for you on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm behind, behind on that show.
Yeah, don't go on Facebook because everyone's posting about what just happened.
Yeah, because they did this last night.
Like why are you ruining that?
I haven't watched
everyone?
that show since Christmas of 2012, so I'm really behind. And I love it. I just really didn't catch, especially because I love The Wizard of Oz, and now The Wicked Witch and stuff is on there. I saw Dorothy in a preview the other day, so
nice.
I really want to see it. But anyway, Spider-Man. So to me, the whole movie was really good. It didn't seem like there was way too much going on until at the end. During like the final battle, which we'll go ahead and give the spoiler alert now. The final battle, it's the main villain of this episode is Davey thinks the Andrew Garfield trilogy is so much better. Emma Stone #yes. We agree, or I agree. She's got to see it. Anyway,
I probably agree.
The last battle, he's battling Electrode, and his friend, who was he inherited Oscorp when his dad passed away, injects himself with the same venom that was from the spider that bit Peter. And it has a different reaction for him because he has some kind of disease that he thinks is going to heal from that venom, but instead it turns him into the Green Goblin.
Oh.
And
Poor thing.
what happens is Spider-Man defeats Electrode, and then as soon as he's finished, you think everything's all well and good, and then Harry comes in as the Green Goblin, and a whole nother battle happens.
Gotcha.
And he like takes Emma Stone, who is Gwen, is her name in the movie, and I'm not going to say the rest of it because you need to see it. But
she.
The thing that people can hear you.
Well, if you read the comic books, you know. Okay?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
But it happens differently than it did in the comic books.
Gotcha.
A little differently. It's pretty much the same, but it happens a little differently.
So she's done.
Yeah. Which could potentially make way for, I think, is going to segue to Mary Jane. Mary Jane, I think, is going to be in the next one.
I saw a really funny picture of Emma Stone with red hair, and they're like, we would totally overlook the fact that if you recast her as Mary Jane. I was like, I would, yeah,
wouldn't that
do
be
it.
Weird though?
That'd be
because
awesome.
he's like so in love with her in these movies that if she came back and looked like Gwen, I feel like that would create a whole nother like
do it.
A whole nother spectrum
I
for
like it.
Spider-Man.
We should do it.
But
So
that scene. That scene that was I think where people were saying there was a lot going on, because there was a lot going on. I was like really having to focus because there was Electrode battle going on. They threw in this whole side storyline of these two, because basically Electrode shuts down all the power in New York. They throw in this little side story of these two planes that are like about to hit each other because they can't, all the satellites are down, they can't communicate to anybody.
Gotcha.
So, and it was like, why is that there? Like, I want to see what's going on with Electrode and Spider-Man, not these two random airplanes. I don't know any of these people, like, that are about to crash into each other. I'm like, I appreciate them adding the suspense factor, but that I felt like was too much. And then the extra battle with Harry, I felt like was a little too much too. But, I mean, they had to, he's the reason that Gwen dies, so they had to have that in there. But they just kind of threw a lot together right at the end. And that was the only really issue that I had with it. Overall, I loved it. Like, it was great. It was a lot better than most of the reviews said, and I think that the public has liked it better than some of the reviews too.
Everything that I've heard about it from my friends has been positive.
Yeah.
So.
But Neighbors knocked it down in the box office this weekend.
Well, of course, Zac Efron. Zac Efron.
Go figure.
He's hot.
They knocked it down to number 2. But anyway, so share your thoughts about Spider-Man. We'd love to hear them.
I'm sure. Yeah. We'll hear from Davey again.
Yeah. Which is great. Thank you, Davey, for watching.
I'll take you out to IHOP later.
Ooh, I want to go.
I'll buy. Yeah.
We get some crepes. Do you ever eat crepes at IHOP?
Yes.
I don't like their pancakes.
Exactly. That's all I get at IHOP.
I don't like IHOP pancakes. Okay, last segment is going to be the fun one. This is what I kind of hope will get us really big views, because we're going to talk about stuff that happens to us, like, in our life. Now, I will... Hers is going to be probably a lot more interesting than mine. So maybe we'll do mine first.
See yours.
So, how many of you live in an apartment complex that has a public pool, a public hot tub, like public? Most people, if you live in a complex that has one, you know, yeah, we all do. If you live in an apartment. Well, it's so frustrating when it's nighttime and the pool has hours, like you can't go out there all the time. And at my place where I live here, we have a nighttime security person that patrols. Okay. So, they make sure that, like, they are there at 9:30. Like, it's 9:30, you have to go. Like, you gotta go. Well, sometimes, my roommates and I will wait until a little bit later, because we've got this new thing where we like to go out to the hot tub sometimes at night just to relax before we go to bed. And it's not a very big one. It's kind of small. Hashtag spoiler tweet. Davey said, in the comics, Venom takes over her body and tries. I'll have to open it to read. We're going to go back for a second. Hold on. Venom takes over her body and tries getting close to him again to kill him. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
See, I've never read the comics, so.
They should do that.
But wait a minute.
That'd be cool.
The same thing though, where he tries to catch her happens, and he catches her with the web, and then basically what happens is it breaks her neck. Okay. Because she's falling, and he catches her at the very last second, and so and in the movie, her head hits the concrete. And that's what kills her. In the comics, apparently her neck breaks, and which I think that happens too in the movie. It's just kind of hard, but it was a little gruesome, because like you could hear her head hit the ground, like that was kind of crazy. But anyway,
That'd be cool though if he reanimated her.
Yeah.
Just to like.
Yeah.
Destroy him. That would be awful.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. You should do it. Next movie.
So, back to what we were talking about, the hot tub. So you go out to the hot tub, and that part of the reason why we wait until later in the night is so that nobody's there, so we can, because right now there's 4 of us. There's 3 of us that live here, and then one of our friends is staying with us for a little while, and so we were hoping we'd go out there hoping. So you go out there, and you're like, oh, hopefully nobody's there. You get to the hot tub, and there's one person sitting there, and you're like, oh, crap, like, what are we going to do? Like, do we just get in and be awkward and sit there with him, or like,
friends,
or go back to the apartment? Like, what do you do? Because you know, it's kind of like one of those awkward things. Like, do you want to just be awkward and do it? We decided just to be awkward and do it. And we're like, hopefully he doesn't like feel like we're pushing him out. Like, maybe we can make a new friend. Like, and Danielle told me that she has seen him out there before. Like, 'cause she goes out there and reads a lot, so she's met him before, and he lives here, whatever. But so we get in, the 4 of us, like, so our hot tub is, here, let me try to demonstrate with this cup without pouring the water out. So our hot tub is round like this, it's a circle. And
oh, okay.
So say that, and then here, say my finger is the stairs. So, and it's got like a seat all the way around the inside. Well, he's sitting right here, and the pool's over here. He's sitting here, and we literally, the 4 of us, like, crouched together on this side, like, as far away from him as we can possibly get. And, like, we said hi, like, we were talking to him or whatever. Well, we were just, I kind of don't remember a lot, but I feel like we were probably sitting there awkwardly, like, just because we don't know him, like, we just wanted to come and sit.
Okay.
Well, then he gets up and leaves. And then we felt back, and we're like, oh, we drove him out of the hot tub.
Yes, you did.
Like,
with your awkwardness.
With our awkwardness.
I can't imagine you being awkward.
Me? Never.
Never.
Never awkward. It just, but we were just thinking, oh, like, oh, you don't have to go. Like, I think somebody even said, like, you don't have to leave, because the last time he was like, oh, it's okay, I'm good, I gotta go home anyway, whatever. And it's like, was he being nice and like just letting us have the space, or did he feel awkward? Like, it's hard to say. Like, what would you do? Like, would you stay or would you leave if like all these people came in?
Would I leave? I probably would definitely leave. Just because, yeah, it is awkward. It's just kind of like, and then to imagine that you're kind of all just boiling in like this human stew together, it's like, oh, I'd rather just go and take a shower. Yeah.
So, I mean, I felt bad. If he ever sees this, we're sorry. But, you know, it's like...
Was he cute?
It was an older guy.
Oh.
So, open to interpretation, whatever. But, yeah. So that was my fun little life moment of this past week. It was just kind of, you know... Because we all have those awkward moments. That's kind of what this whole segment's going to be, almost, is like those awkward moments when, like, what do you do? But then hers is a little bit funnier because the other night I was going through Twitter and I saw this tweet that she posted, and I immediately tweeted her back and was like, we're gonna talk about that on the show because it actually was funny. I'm gonna read the tweet to everybody. So at KKFlexi, bro, you have a girlfriend. It's 12 a.m. No, you cannot come over. They don't call it Orlando for nothing. Sorry, I am not a booty call. Now let me say this first. We live in Orlando.
Yes, we do.
And it has the reputation of being called Orlando.
Yeah.
So because people are apparently more frisky here than everywhere else. It's just easy to call it that too because of the name of the city. But anyway, so what can you share about that? We won't mention his name.
Yeah, we won't. I don't know, I found that, you know, where we work, because we have a lot of people that just come in that are seasonal and that don't live here and they go back after they're done. They're a lot more willing to cheat on their girlfriends or their other significant other, and they act like it's okay. Like, oh, I'm here on spring break, let's, you know, sleep with the locals.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Or I'm only here for a few weeks to work. Like, and I'm leaving. Who cares?
Like, exactly. Like, that's and then the fact that, like, he texts me at, like, midnight, and he's like, I'm up for anything, winky face, and I'm like, ew, like, gross. What makes you think that I'm gonna wanna get out of bed and shake my legs and all that crap just to be with some
Well,
guy
that's
who's got
the
a
thing.
girlfriend.
That's when you know it's a booty call.
Yeah.
When you get it, like, I feel like any time after 10 p.m., maybe 11, we'll give or take, because depending on your style of living, some people stay up later than other people. But
I don't.
You don't stay up late, but 12 noon is too early for you?
No, not 11 a.m. is too early. Like, that's early. Because I had to wait. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just wake up at 9. It's my day off. Guess Caleb's worth it. Like,
well, you can go sleep after this. Yeah. Think about if we were like on TV or something, we'd have to be here even earlier.
I know.
I asked her to be here by 11 just so that we could have time to get everything ready, because this is our first time doing it. If obviously maybe we're not as early next time, but it's never going to be obvious. Unfortunately, we're probably never going to be able to be consistent with when we do these, but it'll at least be hopefully a couple days a week. Mm-hmm. We'll go back to what we're talking about. So yeah, so like, what did you do? Did you text him back at all, or did
I was
you just
like,
ignore
no. I was like, I have to go to bed. Sorry, night.
And this guy has a girlfriend, yeah?
He has a
girlfriend. Does she live here?
Yeah, he lives with her.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Do they actually live here?
But he used to be one of those people that came in on his program.
Okay. That was season 1 or whatever.
And then they moved here and they lived together, and I'm like, how does she not? And my thing is like, girl, how do you not know? Like, does she know that he's? Because he's hung out before with me, and he's like, oh yeah, after this I'm gonna go over to this other girl's house. Yeah. And it's like, how does she not realize?
Wait, he told you that? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, like, how does she not realize that, like, okay, that's not normal for my boyfriend to be leaving the house and then coming home smelling like alcohol and, smoke and, like, he's clearly doing stuff. Like, I feel bad for her.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be funny if you did, which, I mean, I'm not suggesting that you do this, but it's funny because there's that movie that's out right now. I forget the name of it. I think it's called The Other Woman. And it's these women that all find out that they're like with the same guy and like band together, like take him down.
Take him down.
It's really funny because actually last night a friend of mine at work was telling me that she had met this guy on Tinder.
Oh, I love Tinder.
And
it's the best. It's so great.
She had met this guy on Tinder and they had like gone out on a date and other things. And then he found out that he had a girlfriend. Like, he told her that he had a girlfriend. And I'm thinking, what? Well, then, I can't remember exactly how it happened. I can't remember if the girlfriend found out that he went on a date with my friend, or if it was the other way. It either way, they like contacted each other, and they were hanging out last night to like talk about it.
Oh, nice.
Because the girl, I think it was that the girl found out that he was cheating on her, and she was really upset about it. Mm-hmm. And so my friend felt bad, even though she is the other woman, but she didn't know. Anything wrong. Yeah, she didn't know at first.
Because I've had that happen to me where I started dating this guy, and then I was talking about it, and this girl was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know that you guys were dating," and I was like, "It's not your fault. Like, it's his deal, and we're over now. Like, it's he was the one. Like, it's like, it's not. I mean, if you know, obviously, then shame on you. But if you don't know, that's not your fault. He's just a dog. Like, he's. But you know what? That's mean to dogs, because my dog's really loyal, and she would never cheat on me with another owner.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Dogs are a lot more loyal than people, for the most part. But so they hung out last night. Awesome. They went to House of Blues, and so I'm interested to find out how that went, and like if they've come up with a plan. Because she was thinking, she asked me, she's like, should I go with this girl? Like, I don't know her. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need to know this story. Like, why are you going out with this girl that you don't know? And that was what it was. So I was like, And I told her, I was like, it's like that movie. So anyway, so that's it. That's our life moments for the day. Now let's go back to this, since Davey tweeted us. Normally, we're going to not do what we did, where we read the tweets during the show, because it kind of makes us digress back to something we'll talk about. What we want to happen is, we want you to tweet us during, obviously, the subjects and during the topics. And then at the end of the show, we're going to go into what I would call a question and answer time, where we will read some of the ones that we get. We'll do it twice. We'll read them after Hot Topics, and we'll read them after the other two segments. Davey tweeted us 4 times. Thank you, Davey. And he followed Mix It Up TV.
Thank you so much. I guess I'm being taken up on my IHOP offer.
Oh, yeah. He tweeted her and said, IHOP, yes.
Well, I'm off today, Davey, and tomorrow, so if you want to hang out, let me know.
Can we? Well, I want to go. We have to wait till I get off work tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have a very long shift today. Maybe we can still go if you're not working, maybe.
Well, we usually go off really late. Like
Oh,
really
okay.
late.
Yeah, because it's open late.
Sometimes, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's always cast members, and they give you a discount because they know you're a cast member. You don't have to say anything. Yeah.
We just got another one. Oh, there it is. We're ready to talk about this part. Do not watch if you haven't seen. Hashtag that means you, Katie. Oh, it's a YouTube video, spoiler video that Davey just tweeted us.
Spider-Man?
Is it from Spider-Man? I don't know. Actually, Davey, if you want to join the show, we can buzz you in if you want.
If you
don't mind being on live on YouTube. Yeah, he tweeted us several times. So much better. I love the second one, but it was so sad. It went with comics a lot. That was the one thing that I have heard a lot about the second one is that it was very true to the comic books. And I think that's a good throw to Stan Lee, who's the guy who wrote the comics. He's always involved in every film. But I think this time, because of what happened with the last trilogy, that they wanted to be more true to what really happened in the comics, which I always appreciate. I feel like when you make something that was written, it's always better to keep true to the source material, especially if it's source material that people love.
Yeah.
Because people get very defensive.
They get very defensive.
Like, eventually, soon we're going to talk about Star Wars because, like, in the next episode or so, because that's a new thing coming on. We're closely related to Star Wars. So, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad to know that they went truer to the comics because that's important to me. With stuff
you
like
definitely always want to have the fandom on your side because that's. I mean, the reason that Spider-Man's so popular is because of the comics, because of the people that buy the comics and been reading them forever and pass them along to their children, and you definitely want to make sure that there's a nod to them in there. What?
Davey's still live tweeting us, and he said, "Sorry, I didn't mean for y'all to read every time." It's okay. I get very distracted, so I saw it pop up on my phone. I was like, "Ooh, we got tweeted!" I'm just so excited that somebody tweeted us. Normally, we won't. We'll wait till the end to read it. It's okay though. It's fine. You did exactly what you were supposed to do.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
You're rewarded with IHOP.
You're rewarded with IHOP. You have to tell everybody to follow us though. Like you have to retweet us a lot and follow us too, and tell everybody else to follow us at MixedUpTV. Hashtag MixedUp. You know what? Another thing I really want to try to do these on Mondays, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a following on Twitter that's hashtag MixedUpMonday. I saw it this morning when I went to hashtag MixedUp. That came up on the thing as a possible thing to hashtag. Excuse me.
Well, what is it?
It's just people mix it up Monday. I don't know. I didn't really read any of the tweets. I was gonna look at it. Actually, let's just do it now.
Look it up. We can hone in on that.
Yeah, mix it up Monday. So, wearing boys' clothes to school today. Hashtag mix it up Monday. That's Genesis.
That's so funny.
Said that, but I mean these are not tweets to us. We're just reading mix it up Monday tweets. Somebody was talking about Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 crushed the weekend box office, making $92 million. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It still got beat out by
Zac Efron.
Though, unfortunately. I don't know. I guess it's all kinds of random stuff. Mix it up Monday with some funky pattern tights and some killer heels. I mean, it must be a fashion thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just wear something crazy on Mix It Up Monday. I didn't. I'm wearing white shorts and a polo. I don't wear polos that often either. Just FYI, I wanted to look nice for this first video. So
after this, we're gonna wear our pajamas.
Yeah, we're gonna wear our pajamas.
In every single.
Or nothing. Apparently.
We're gonna sit on the floor
she
like that.
She quoted me. The other day. When we met yesterday to talk about the show. We were talking about getting followers and stuff, and I said, apparently the way that you get followers is to take your clothes off on Instagram. And but we will not do that on this show.
We won't.
Sherry and Jenny did that on The View
recently.
They did a segment where they weren't wearing any clothes. They were like censored out, and they probably weren't really naked, but we're not doing that, just so you know.
We're not doing that.
No. I'll wear a tank top or something. That's the most skin you'll see. But anyway, so that's gonna, I guess, wrap it up for this show. Comment, rate us, and comment. Oh, if you are just seeing this or saw this, we're back to 0 viewers, even though I think Davey is still watching. If you missed the live shows, it's okay, because with Google Hangouts on Air, the show, like I said earlier, immediately uploads to YouTube after we finish. So if you missed something, you can watch it on that. And I know this was a whole hour, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It goes by fast.
This
doesn't
going
it?
really fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really fun. But yeah, you can watch them there, youtube.com/mixituptube. And then we will also post the videos on Facebook and Twitter and everything. Our Twitter is @mixituptv. We need to make an Instagram, I think.
Yes.
If MixItUpTV is available. I don't want to have too many different names of handles. The reason it's called MixItUpTube on YouTube is because MixItUpTV was already taken. So, yeah, so it's
Rude.
youtube.com/mixituptube. You can watch, rate, and comment in the comments, tweet us. We want to hear from you, and watch our videos, share our videos, everything. Fabulous. And we'll be back soon. I'm not sure when, but we will be back again. And tomorrow night, I'll be here talking about Glee. So if you want to join me as a co-host tomorrow night to talk about Glee season finale, let me know, and we will bring you in via Google Hangouts. Hopefully Rachel will be able to be with me, and we can talk about the episode. But yeah, follow us on Twitter @MixedUpTV, me @Caleb Graham, her @KitKatLexi. Rate and comment the videos, youtube.com/MixedUpTube. I've said it about 4 times now.
Yeah.
Won't say it anymore. And that'll be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye. And stop.